we have my number 4 film, and that is Wicked, a spellbinding spectacle that mostly soars. It's a movie that exists and is really well made. Is it a Best Picture? I don't think so. Is it gonna win Best Original Song? It should. I don't know if this counts as an original song. What this was nominated, right?
Nope, it
no.
wasn't.
Okay, I guess that makes sense because it's not an original song because it was in the. Fair enough, but if it was an original song, it would win. Defying Gravity is an absolute masterpiece, and the performance in the film, the visuals in the film during that, like if you think about that like a music video, it might be one of the greatest music videos of all time. It is so good. And the performances are incredible. It is a goofy concept that, of course, works on a stage, but I think a lot of people are underrating what the director, I think John Chu, he directed Crazy Rich Asians. What he did, this is not an easy task to make like this believable and as whimsical as it feels. I don't think there's really a great precedent for good Broadway adaptations to the screen. It's just not something that happens. And while we don't have a Barbieheimer, we did have Wicked, and it was probably the closest thing to like a cultural moment in film is when Wicked was coming out, and the hype around it, how general audiences were talking about it, just all the stuff around Ariana Grande. It's just, with this film, she's like transformed her whole life and persona into being Glinda. It's wild, the impact that this film has left. And this is just part 1. So I think we're gonna be waiting for part 2. I don't know when that exactly is coming.
This year. It's already filmed.
Look at that. Do that more, Sony.
Facts.
You hear me, Sony? It's a movie that doesn't completely stick the landing, but it's visually stunning, and I don't have a lot of real complaints other than, it's long, it's a musical, it doesn't always get to the point quickly, but like it's a musical, of course it's not going to get to the point. I don't have a whole lot of complaints.
This was my number 2 movie on my list. This was my other 10 out of 10 movie on my list, and I think it was a perfect movie. I think that, like we were saying with Dune, this was a spectacle, but I feel like it also managed to be a movie that could be enjoyed on its own, and you could sit there and like appreciate it for being a film while also not even having seen the musical, or because like you got the baggage of the musical, you got the baggage of The Wizard of Oz, and the baggage of like, Ariana Grande, and just like the task of, like you said, of making all of that work in a movie, and they somehow pulled it off. And I kind of disagree with you. I think that they did stick the landing. I think that, ending on Defying Gravity, the only part with that is like they used it in all of the marketing. I do feel like if they wouldn't have used it in the marketing, I feel like that moment would have hit a little bit more in the movie. But even then, like, I feel like it was really great. And I think that it having a sequel coming out the next year only helps it, and will help Wicked 2 possibly even get another Oscar run.
Yeah, it feels like we'll probably be right back here next year talking about Wicked 2 in the same spot, considering it probably had the same, production cycle as this one, same director, same cast. I can't really see where they would slip up, and I am, I think hearing what you said, I think I do, kind of let off my not sticking the landing a little bit. It's a great film. Like I said towards the end of it, I don't have real complaints other than, maybe it's not my kind of film that I would watch, but at the same time, I'm going to be watching Wicked 2 in theaters because of how much I enjoyed this. It's really it's a really good film. Yeah. There's not really much more that could be analyzed because it's exactly what it is advertised.